Imagine being told you're not welcome at Christmas. Not because you've done something wrong, but because you don't have children. That's exactly what my family did to me. And let me tell you, their surprise when they saw my response? Priceless. It was Thanksgiving, a day meant for gratitude. But for me, it became a day of brutal exclusion. My sister-in-law, Sharon, cornered me. You know that smile she wears? The one that's all sugar, no soul, the kind that promises devastating news she's secretly thrilled to deliver. Michelle, she purred, her perfectly manicured nails tapping my arm. We need to talk. I was 34, a pediatric nurse practitioner, perfectly content with my life. Single by choice after a messy divorce 3 years prior. I had my own home, a rescue dog named Cooper, and enough savings to live comfortably. What I didn't have were children. And in my family, apparently, that made me less than. Sure, what's up? I asked, taking a sip of my wine, trying to ignore the cold not forming in my stomach. Sharon glanced around conspiratorially, as if she were about to share state secrets. Well, your brother Michael and I have been talking with your parents, and we've decided to make Christmas a bit more intimate this year. You know, just the grandparents and parents. A family event, really. I blinked. I'm sorry, what? It's nothing personal, she rushed on, her voice dripping with false sympathy. It's just with little Aiden and Emma, we want to focus on creating magical memories for the kids. And your parents are getting older. They want to spend the holidays with their grandchildren. It makes sense, doesn't it? My stomach plummeted, but I kept my expression neutral. So, you're uninviting me from Christmas. We're not uninviting you, Sharon protested, her saccharine smile never wavering. We're just restructuring the holiday. It's only for parents now. Surely you understand. I looked past her, searching for Michael. He was laughing with our father, completely oblivious, or perhaps deliberately ignoring, the knife Sharon was twisting in my back. My mother was in the kitchen with my sister Jessica, who had 2 kids. Of course, she was included in this new, parents-only policy. Does Jessica know about this? I asked, a tremor in my voice. Of course. She thinks it's a wonderful idea. More room for the kids to play, less chaos with too many adults around. The irony hit me like a punch. After my divorce, my family had been my rock. Or so I thought. I'd shown up to every birthday, every school play, every barbecue. I was Aunt Michelle, the cool aunt who brought thoughtful gifts and actually got down on the floor to play. But none of that mattered, apparently, when weighed against my lack of a parental title. I drained my wine. Well, thanks for letting me know. Sharon looked almost disappointed I hadn't thrown a scene. You're taking this so well. I knew you'd understand. Maybe next year, if you meet someone and settle down, things will be different. The unspoken, and have kids hung heavy in the air. I excused myself and found my parents. My father, Robert, a retired accountant. My mother, Patricia, a retired school teacher. Dad, Mom, can we talk? My father looked up from his newspaper. What is it, sweetie? Sharon just told me I'm not invited to Christmas this year, that it's only for parents now. My mother exchanged a glance with my father. Michelle, honey, you have to understand. We're not getting any younger, and we want to focus on making memories with our grandchildren while we still can. I'm your child. I cried, my voice cracking despite my best efforts. Doesn't that count for something? Of course it does, my father said, but his tone was dismissive. But you're an adult. You can celebrate Christmas however you want. The kids need this magic, this tradition. And I don't. The words felt like shards of glass in my throat. Don't be dramatic, Michelle, my mother sighed. You'll have your own family someday, and then you'll understand. That was the moment something inside me crystallized. To them, I was incomplete. My career, my home, my life, none of it mattered because I hadn't reproduced. I was less than an afterthought, someone to be excluded when more important family members needed space. I left Thanksgiving dinner early, claiming a headache. Cooper, my rescue dog, greeted me at the door with his usual boundless enthusiasm. I buried my face in his fur and just sobbed. But by the time I woke up the next morning, the tears were gone, replaced by a burning, defiant determination. I opened my laptop. If my family wanted to exclude me from their precious Christmas celebration, fine. I'd create my own. And it would be so spectacular, so undeniably joyful, that they'd see exactly what they were missing. Within an hour, I found it. A 12-day luxury Christmas cruise through the Caribbean, departing December 20th, returning January 1st. A floating palace, pools, spa, gourmet food, shows, exotic stops. The price tag was steep, but I had the savings. I clicked book now, with a satisfaction I hadn't felt in weeks. Over the next few weeks, I transformed. I splurged on a new wardrobe, sundresses, swimsuits, elegant evening wear. I got highlights, feeling like a new person. A luxury spa massage and facial prepped me for the trip. My family noticed my improved mood, but completely misinterpreted it. At our monthly family dinner in early December, Sharon pulled me aside again. "I'm so glad you're taking the Christmas thing so well," she said, a hint of surprise in her voice. "I was worried you'd be upset." "Why would I be upset?" I asked sweetly. "You're right. I can celebrate however I want." She looked visibly relieved. "Exactly. So, what are your plans?" "Quiet day at home with Cooper." "Something like that," I said, offering nothing more. Michael approached, beer in hand. "Hey, sis. No hard feelings about Christmas, right? It's just easier this way." I looked at my brother, the person I'd once been closest to. We'd shared everything. Now he couldn't even look me in the eye. "No hard feelings," I lied. We both knew it was a lie. Midway subscribe line, by the way, if you're still with me and hooked on this journey of self-discovery and defiant joy, make sure to hit that subscribe button right now. More unbelievable stories and unfiltered truths are coming your way. The week before Christmas, I launched my social media campaign. A photo of my packed suitcase, caption, "When one door closes, another one opens, to paradise. Boarding a 12-day luxury Caribbean cruise tomorrow. Solo travel has never looked so good." Friends from work and college cheered. Even distant cousins chimed in. My immediate family. Crickets. December 20th arrived. Miami port. The ship was a magnificent Leviathan, gleaming white against the blue sky. My balcony stateroom was perfection. This was it. My Christmas. And it was going to be extraordinary. That evening, in an emerald green cocktail dress, I went to the welcome dinner. Crystal chandeliers, white tablecloths, a menu that read like poetry. I was seated with 3 other solo travelers, Marcus, a divorced businessman, Rachel, a widow reclaiming her life, David, a chef treating himself. We clicked instantly, bonding over adventure and our shared holiday solitude. Laughter filled the air. Back in my room, I took my first photo. A selfie on my balcony, the ocean stretching behind me, the ship's lights twinkling. I was genuinely smiling for the first time in weeks. I posted it, day 1 of my Christmas adventure. The ocean is my family tonight, and it's more welcoming than you'd expect. Dinner was incredible. Lobster thermidor and chocolate soufflé. Tomorrow, St. Thomas. Living my best life doesn't even begin to cover it. The likes poured in. Then I saw it. My sister Jessica viewed the post. No comment. Then Sharon. Then my mother. I smiled and turned off my phone. But sleep didn't come easily. Despite the bravado, the beautiful dinner, the new friends, a hollow ache persisted. Past Christmases flashed in my mind, baking cookies, sneaking dough with Michael, Jessica's eyes lighting up. The warmth of unconditional love. I wrapped myself in a complimentary robe and went to the balcony. The ocean was dark, vast. I called my best friend, Amanda. "How's the cruise?" "Your post looked amazing," she said. "It is amazing," I whispered, my voice cracking. "But Amanda, I'm out here in the middle of the ocean, and I still feel so discarded." "Oh, honey," she said softly. "What they did was unforgivable. This isn't about you not being enough. This is about them being too small to see your worth." "I keep wondering if I'm overreacting," I admitted. "If maybe I should have just accepted it quietly." "Absolutely not." Amanda's voice was firm. "They told you that you don't matter because you made different life choices. That's not something you accept quietly. That's something you stand up against. And look at you. You're on a freaking luxury cruise, living your best life. That takes courage." We talked for an hour. Amanda reminded me this trip wasn't just about showing my family what they were missing. It was about showing myself what I deserved. The next morning, my phone buzzed incessantly. Dozens of notifications. My post had exploded. Even more interesting, a text from an unknown number. "Michelle, this is Karen, your dad's sister. I just saw your post and I'm absolutely furious with your parents. What they did is inexcusable. You're always welcome at my house for any holiday. Always. Love you, sweetie." Taze pricked my eyes. Aunt Karen, the cool aunt. Her support meant everything. Then came a call from Uncle Tom, my father's brother. "Michelle, I just heard what happened," he said, his voice tight with anger. "Your father called me yesterday. He tried to justify it. I told him he made a massive mistake and he was going to lose you if he didn't fix it. Sharon's influence has gotten out of hand, and your parents have been enablers." The cracks were showing in their perfect, parents-only Christmas. "Good. Thank you for standing up for me," I said. "Always, kiddo," he replied. "Now you go enjoy that cruise and post 1,000 more pictures. Make them see exactly what they are missing." Recharged, I put on a new turquoise sundress. St. Thomas was breathtaking. I spent the day at Megan's Bay, swimming in water so clear I could see my toes, lounging under palm tree. The sun felt like healing. Every wave washed away a little more hurt. That evening, I posted a carousel of photos, me in a bikini, a tropical drink, a sunset, me laughing. Caption: St. Thomas exceeded every expectation. Spent the day at Megan's Bay, possibly the most beautiful beach I've ever seen. This is what Christmas looks like when you choose yourself first. No regrets. The engagement exploded. Then, a comment from Denise, Michael's close friend. "Michelle, you look happier than I've seen you in years. Your family's loss is definitely the Caribbean's gain. Keep shining." I liked it, knowing Michael would see it. Minutes later, his text. "Can we please talk? This is getting out of hand." My reply: "I'm on vacation, Michael. You made it clear I wasn't needed. I'm making the most of mine. We can talk when I get back. Maybe." That maybe was petty, I knew, but it felt good. My family's responses came fast now. Jessica texted, "Your photos look amazing. We're having a nice time too." No response from me. Then Mom, "Michelle, your father and I are glad you're having fun, but don't you think you're being a bit excessive with all these posts? It seems like you're trying to make a point." My reply: "Just sharing my vacation like everyone else does. Isn't that what social media is for?" Silence. The next few days were a blur of perfection. St. Martin, catamaran, snorkeling, sea turtles. I posted a video, new friend alert. Sea turtles are better company than some humans I know. Sharon commented, "Very mature, Michelle." My public reply: "Thank you. I'm really growing as a person on this trip. Self-discovery is amazing." She didn't respond. I knew she was seething. That night at dinner, I told my cruise family the full story. Their faces registered shock and disgust. "That's barbaric," David said. You don't exclude family because they made different life choices. Rachel added, your family's myopic. Marcus encouraged, keep posting. Let them squirm. In the Bahamas, I swam with dolphins. A female, Luna, seemed particularly attached. The photo of me kissing her nose got over 300 likes in an hour. Caption, she showed me more affection in 30 seconds than I've gotten from some people all year. Dolphins, humans. My phone blew up. Mom, Dad, Jessica, all calling. I finally answered Jessica. Michelle, please stop, she pleaded, tears in her voice. You're tearing the family apart with these posts. I'm tearing the family apart. I asked, incredulous. You all decided I wasn't family enough to celebrate Christmas with. I'm just living my life. But you're doing it so publicly. It's humiliating for them. Oh, I'm so sorry that my joy is inconvenient for you, I said, dripping sarcasm. Tell me, Jessica, were you thinking about my humiliation when you all decided I wasn't welcome? When you let Sharon dictate that I wasn't important enough to include? I'm sorry, she whispered. I should have stood up for you. I know that now. Yeah, you should have, I said, my voice hardening. But you didn't. So now I'm standing up for myself. And if that makes people uncomfortable, well, maybe they should have thought about that before they made me feel like I was disposable. I hung up. That night, wired with adrenaline, I found Marcus in the ship's 24-hour cafe. He'd been through something similar after his divorce. I stopped caring about their approval, he said simply. I realized I was letting people who clearly didn't value me dictate my emotional state. So I started building a new life, new traditions, new relationships, new experiences. And you know what? I'm happier now than I ever was trying to fit into their idea of what I should be. That's exactly what this trip is for me, I said. It's me choosing to build something new instead of begging for scraps from people who don't see my worth. And that's incredibly powerful, Marcus affirmed. You're not just taking a vacation. You're reclaiming your narrative. You're showing them, and yourself, that you don't need their validation to be happy. His words resonated deep within me. Christmas Eve, the ship hosted a spectacular dinner and show. I wore a floor-length red gown that made me feel like a movie star. My crew's family, Marcus, Rachel, David, and I, were inseparable. We took a group photo, found my chosen family on this ship. Proof that blood isn't the only thing that creates bonds. Merry Christmas Eve from the Caribbean, where the only snow is white sand and the only cold shoulders are from the AC. Sharon commented, "This seems really petty, Michelle." I replied publicly, "What's petty? Celebrating Christmas? I thought that's what we were all supposed to be doing." She deleted her comment. Christmas morning, I woke to a breathtaking sunrise. Standing on my balcony, coffee in hand, I took a photo. This wasn't just about revenge anymore. It was about healing, about growth, about understanding my own worth. I wanted to tell others who felt excluded, diminished, or less than, you are not alone, and you are enough. My long caption read, "Merry Christmas from somewhere over the Caribbean Sea." I woke up to this view, this peace, this perfect moment of solitude and contentment. There's no chaos, no obligation, no feeling like I'm not enough. Just me, the ocean, and the understanding that I desire to create my own traditions. To everyone who's spending today feeling excluded, less than, or forgotten, you're not alone, and you're enough exactly as you are. The people who can't see that don't deserve a seat at your table, even if you once shared blood with them. Here's to chosen families, to solo adventures, and to knowing your worth. May your Christmas be filled with whatever brings you peace. The response was immediate, overwhelming. Within minutes, dozens of comments from people sharing their own stories of exclusion, divorce, coming out, career choices. The post went viral. I had accidentally started a movement of people choosing themselves. Then, buried in the comments, Aunt Michelle, I miss you. Can you come home? Christmas is sad without you. Love, Aiden. My 6-year-old nephew. My heart cracked. Whatever issues I had with the adults, the kids didn't deserve to be caught in the middle. I commented back, I miss you too, buddy. I'll see you soon. Love you. My phone rang again. My mother, 3 times. I finally answered on the 4th call. Michelle, she said, her voice strained. We need to talk about these posts. You're making us look bad. People are asking us questions, wondering why you're not with family for Christmas. Your Aunt Karen called your father. Uncle Tom did the same. Cousins are reaching out. You're humiliating us. I laughed, a harsh sound. You mean people are realizing what you did? That you excluded me. We didn't exclude you, she protested, her voice wavering. We just wanted a more intimate gathering. You excluded me because I don't have children, I stated, my voice steady. Because my value as a family member is measured by my reproductive choices. You can try to spin it however you want, Mom, but that's the truth. Silence. In the background, I could hear my father, kids playing, the TV on some Christmas special. You made your decision, I continued, my voice steady, despite the tears threatening to fall. I made mine. I chose to spend Christmas somewhere I wanted, even if that's in the middle of the ocean by myself. Or actually, not by myself, with people who see me as a complete person, not a work in progress waiting to achieve motherhood. You're being selfish, my mother said, her voice breaking. Selfish? This was supposed to be special for the grandchildren, and my exclusion was supposed to be what? Invisible. Did you think I'd just quietly accept being pushed aside? That I wouldn't build a life that's just as valuable, just as worthy of celebration? Did you think I'd spend Christmas alone in my house with Cooper, crying into my wine, making you all feel better about your decision? We thought you'd understand, she said weakly. Understand what, Mom? That I don't matter? Because that's the message you sent. You, Dad, Michael, Jessica, Sharon, you all told me, loud and clear, that my life as I'm living it isn't enough. Well, guess what? It is enough. It's more than enough. And I don't need your approval to know that anymore. The children keep asking where you are, she admitted quietly. Aiden wanted to know why Aunt Michelle isn't here to play games with him. Emma keeps asking if you're mad at her. They don't understand. That hit me harder than I expected. You should have thought about that before you decided I wasn't family enough to include, I said, my voice softer now. Those kids are innocent in this, and it breaks my heart that they are confused and hurting. But that's on you, Mom. You made this choice. You own the consequences, all of them. Please, she said, and now she was openly crying. Please come home. We can fix this. We can have a second Christmas when you get back. We'll do better. You don't get it, I said. This isn't about one Christmas. This is about years of subtle messages that I'm not quite complete, not quite enough. You didn't just exclude me from Christmas. You told me that everything I've built, everything I am, isn't valuable to you. That's not true, she protested. Then why did you agree to Sharon's plan? Why did you think it was okay to tell me I wasn't welcome? If you truly valued me as I am, you would have shut down that idea immediately. But you didn't. You went along with it. That tells me everything I need to know about how you see me. I hung up before she could respond, my hands shaking. Boxing Day. I spent the morning at one of the ship's pools. I felt a peace I hadn't expected. Being on this ship, surrounded by people who didn't judge me for being childless, who saw me as a complete person rather than a work in progress, had healed something I didn't know was broken. Rachel approached me with a mimosa. You're glowing, she said. I feel like I've shed a skin, I admitted. Like I've been carrying around this weight of not being enough, and I finally put it down. The New Year's Eve party was elaborate. In a shimmering gold dress that caught the lights, my crew's family, Marcus, Rachel, David and I toasted to new beginnings. At midnight, as fireworks exploded over the ocean, I posted a photo of the celebration with the caption, "Ending this year by choosing myself, starting the next year the same way." To everyone who's been following this journey, thank you for the support. You reminded me that family isn't just about blood. It's about who shows up, who sees you, who celebrates you for exactly who you are. Here's to 2025 and all the adventures to come. And to the family members who finally understood the assignment, welcome back. But know this, my table has a new shape now. Not everyone gets a seat by default. Earn it. Aiden's text came, sent from Jessica's phone. "Aunt Michelle, I miss you. Can you come to my birthday party in January? Mom says you're having fun, but I want you here." My heart swelled. My response, "I'll be there, buddy. Save me a seat next to you." When I disembarked on January 1st, I felt like a different person. The woman who had boarded this ship had been broken, rejected, unsure of her worth. The woman who stepped off was confident, healed, and crystal clear about her value. My phone buzzed with a text from Michael. "We're at the airport. Can we pick you up?" I paused, considering. Then I responded, "Yes, but we're having a serious conversation on the way home." When I saw them waiting at arrivals, Michael, Jessica, my parents, and even Sharon with the kids, I felt a complicated mix of emotions. Relief that they'd come. Anger that it had taken this much for them to realize what they'd done. Hope that maybe, just maybe, this could be fixed. Aiden broke free from Sharon's grip and ran to me. "Aunt Michelle, you're back." I caught him in a hug, and just like that, some of the ice around my heart melted. My mother approached cautiously. "Michelle, I held up a hand. "Not here. Let's get home first." The drive back was quiet. The kids chatted about Christmas, about the presents they'd gotten, about how they'd missed me. The adults were silent, the weight of everything unsaid filling the car. When we got to my parents' house, because of course that's where we were going, we settled in the living room. The Christmas tree was still up, presents still scattered underneath. It looked like the perfect family Christmas I'd been excluded from. "Okay," I said, sitting down. "Talk." My father cleared his throat. "Michelle, we owe you an apology. A real one. What we did was wrong. We let ourselves be convinced that Christmas should only be for parents. And in doing so, we told you that you didn't matter, that you weren't enough. And that was cruel." Sharon, tears in her eyes, spoke up. "It was my idea. I thought it would be easier, less complicated. But I was wrong. I didn't consider your feelings, and I should have. You're the kids' favorite aunt, and they asked about you all day. We ruined Christmas trying to make it perfect." Jessica grabbed my hand. "I should have stood up for you. I should have told them it was a terrible idea. I'm your sister. I'm supposed to have your back. Instead, I went along with it because it was easier. I'm so sorry." Michael was openly crying now. "Michelle, you're my little sister. I'm supposed to protect you, not hurt you. I let Sharon's plan happen because I didn't want to rock the boat, and that was wrong. You matter. You've always mattered. Kids or no kids, you're family." I looked at each of them, seeing the genuine remorse in their faces. "Do you understand why this hurt so much? It wasn't just about missing Christmas. It was about being told that my life, my choices, my existence as I am, wasn't valuable to you, that I was disposable." My mother was crying now, too. "We know, and we're going to do better. You're invited to everything, always. Not because you might have kids someday, but because you're our daughter, our sister, our family member who will love exactly as you are." And those social media posts, my father added with a small smile, they taught us something important. You don't need us to be complete. You've built a beautiful life, and we should have been celebrating that all along, instead of treating you like you were missing something. The tears came then, the release of months of hurt. I needed to hear this. I needed you to see me. "We see you now," Michael said, We're sorry it took you going nuclear on social media for us to realize what we'd lost. I laughed through my tears. I didn't go nuclear. I just chose happiness. Best revenge I've ever seen, Jessica said, hugging me. You didn't get angry. You got fabulous. Aiden climbed onto my lap. Are you going to come to Christmas next year, Aunt Michelle? Yes, buddy, I said, looking at my family, flawed, imperfect, but trying. I'll be here next year. Over the next few weeks, things slowly began to heal. My family made a conscious effort to include me, to value me, to see me as complete. They asked about my trip, looked at all my photos, listened to my stories about Marcus, Rachel, and David, who I'd stayed in touch with. Sharon even pulled me aside one day and handed me an envelope. Inside was a check, the amount I'd spent on the cruise. I can't take this, I said. Please, she insisted. It's the least I can do. My stupid idea cost you a fortune in making your own Christmas. Let me make it right. I looked at the check, then at Sharon's genuine remorse. Okay, but I'm donating it to a charity that helps single and divorced women during the holidays. Women who might feel excluded or less than. She smiled. That's perfect. My mother asked me to help her plan Easter, making sure my input was valued. My father started calling me every Sunday just to chat. Michael and I started having brother-sister dinners once a month, rebuilding what we'd lost. But the biggest change was in me. I'd learned that my worth wasn't dependent on anyone else's approval, that I could create my own traditions, my own family, my own joy. The cruise had been revenge, yes, but it had also been a profound gift to myself, a reminder that I was enough. On Valentine's Day, I posted one final photo from the cruise, a shot of me on the deck at sunset, arms spread wide, face turned to the sun. The caption read, "Someone asked me recently if I regret how I spent Christmas, if I regret making a scene with my social media posts. Here's my answer. I regret nothing. I regret not the money spent, not the posts made, not the boundaries set. What I do regret is all the years I spent thinking I needed to be someone different to deserve love and inclusion. To anyone out there feeling like you're not enough, you are. You're enough for someone's Christmas table, for someone's family, for someone's life. And if the people around you can't see that, find new people. Or better yet, be your own person. Be your own family. Be your own enough." That cruise taught me something invaluable. The best revenge isn't anger or bitterness. It's living so well, so fully, so authentically that the people who dismissed you can't help but see what they almost lost. And then you get to decide if they've earned their way back into your life. Choose yourself first. Everything else will follow. The post got thousands of likes, was shared hundreds of times, and resulted in dozens of messages from people thanking me for inspiring them to value themselves. But the comment that meant the most came from my mother. "I'm proud of the woman you are, Michelle. I'm sorry it took me so long to tell you. You don't need children to be complete. You're already whole. Love you always." I smiled, took a screenshot, and saved it. Because sometimes the best revenge isn't revenge at all. It's growth. It's healing. It's teaching the people who hurt you to do better, while simultaneously learning that you never needed them to complete you in the first place. I never did book another solo cruise for Christmas. The next year, I spent it with my family, my whole family, chosen and blood. But I kept those cruise photos, that emerald green dress, and the memory of standing on that deck with the ocean at my feet and the sky above me, finally understanding my own worth. And honestly, that's the best Christmas gift I've ever received. Not forgiveness from my family, though that was important. Not the apology, though that was necessary, but the gift of knowing, deep in my bones, that I am enough. With or without them. With or without anyone. I am enough. And that, my friends, isn't revenge. That's a revolution. So, tell me in the comments below, if you were in my shoes, would you have booked that cruise? Or would you have handled things differently? I'm genuinely curious to hear your thoughts.